7 of 30 of sharing some ideas while I work on my AI startup. This is going to be a bit of a shorter one. I have to be up in about 6 hours to do an airport run first thing tomorrow morning. But one thing that I wanted to talk about today is the user experience of building AI apps and how things have shifted a little bit in this new sort of era. So if we, again, compare it to the way that apps used to behave and still do in many ways, you would have a sort of interaction with the user, and the user would be doing many of the tasks that need to be done. So if we think of a simple workflow here, and let's say we've got 3 different steps. So in each of these steps, you might have somebody with some input, and then at the end of these steps, you might get some outputs, whether that's saving something to a database, whether it's creating visualization or anything else in between, even things on social media. Now, traditionally, a user would have to input certain things here, and there'd be little actions that they're taking throughout the process. If you think of uploading a photo to Instagram, you might first need to open your camera roll, you then might need to select the image, you then input the caption and anything else, and then you go and hit share. Now, of course, there's also the whole element of editing and everything in between here. Where things are different now is that so many of the steps in between your inputs and your desired outputs can be done with an AI agent. So you have your input that goes into a big process, and then you get to your output. But what's different here is that the benefit of this more traditional approach is that you see what's happening at each step and you get that immediate feedback. Oh, am I doing the right thing? If you've selected the wrong photo at this point, you absolutely know before you start going into the next stage that you need to select the right photo. With these AI systems, because they can do all of these steps by themselves and automatically, there's a whole different way that you need to approach that whole user experience, whether it's having multiple checkpoints throughout a process with yes/no sort of sign-offs, or whether it's taking input, or if it's some other design system, design interaction that we haven't thought of yet. But there needs to be some way of keeping people in the loop across this process. And the reason that this sort of came to the mind today is because I was preparing for a meeting with a former colleague of mine, and I wanted to give him a little demo of the very simple proof of concept that we had made to first prove out the idea. And what I found was that we had this process in and out, but there was a whole bunch of nothing in between. And I'm talking like the first step was about 90 seconds, second step was about 90 seconds, and then there's all the sort of in between loading and pushing data to the cloud and fetching it back down. And all of that takes a significant amount of time, and you need to keep the person who's using your app informed with all of these changes, just so then they don't think that their computer's broken, which is what I thought for a moment earlier today. So I think we're going to have to get quite creative with how we keep people informed when these actions are taking place, and how to minimize the feeling of things taking long. Some of these things inherently, by definition, will take long because they are complex things with multiple different steps, and I think that's okay, but we need to keep people in the loop with what's happening. So anyway, a couple quick thoughts today, and I think I'll just leave it there. I'll see you tomorrow.